Spirit just happened to move me to look at the commentary for the readings. But I didn't look at what was in the bulletin this morning. So the commentary that I'll make some comments on, and please, feel free to add this as we're going along here, is the first miracle that Jesus does at the wedding in Cana. You recall, he has come back from the desert, and he's gathered all of his disciples with him, and he and his mother and the disciples all go to the wedding, and they run out of wine. So Mary says to Jesus, they've run out of wine, and he turns to her and he says a really harsh statement about what is that our concern? It is not my time yet. And then he turns around and he changes these large vessels of water, he changes into wine. And not only wine, but the best wine. Because we know the traditions back then were that you would first serve some good wine, get your guests drunk, and then bring out the two-buck chuck, so that you wouldn't have to drink, but you could stretch the wine out. But in fact, this wine, the wine that Jesus turns, is fantastic. It's the greatest of wine. So anyway, the commentary this morning is talking about that phrase that Jesus makes to his mother before he changes before he performs the miracle. And it's interesting because I was thinking about this in the process this morning. At John's wedding, when we were out in Arizona a few years ago, I used that example as God coming to the wedding, how important God thinks weddings are, and the first miracle being performed at the wedding. And I was just thinking, we've gone through Advent, we've gone through Epiphany, and now we're moving to the Noel part of the church year. And we all consider ourselves fairly enlightened. We read the newspaper and we're aware of things. If we think we're enlightened, how about spending a week with family, as we've just done during the Christmas break? Right back and bring on some interesting reactions, interesting opportunities. Well, I think that's part of what is going on here with Jesus and his mother. That the reaction between the two is just part of the family process, part of the interaction that you have at family. And certainly here in our community, in Emmanuel, we certainly are a family in that process. Pastor Paul has mentioned this a number of times. Some members of our congregation really don't have anybody else outside of the family. And sometimes you get into those situations in which words that sound like they're really rather harsh are in fact just part of the process in going through the relationships in the families. And we know that this can happen. So Jesus makes these comments to his mother. And I don't know if maybe I should use the microphone. Sorry. Jesus making his comments. Anybody else have any thoughts about that? Has that ever bothered you about this particular passage? It always struck me as kind of, here's the first miracle he performs, and yet he has what appears to be a very negative reaction to his mother's comments.
Bill?
Yes, sir.
At the risk of sounding blasphemous, and Paul and I have discussed this, I fail to see the miracle of turning this water into wine.
Okay.
As a mood altering, so everybody's going to get drunk. That's a miracle. I don't know. So his first miracle, I'm comfortable with he's warming up, starting something somewhat important to some people, but I'm not comfortable classifying that as a miracle.
Okay, well, I'm no expert on this, but just comments on what happened at that period of time. And 2,000 years ago, life was really tough. You worked basically 7 days a week just to put food on the table. So, I don't know, maybe depending on how good things were that week, you might have to work that 7th day to put food on the table. But you're right, so 6 days. So, anytime there was a celebration, yeah.
Well, just a response
Yeah,
to
right, please.
to Glenn is that you also have to recognize that water wasn't necessarily the cleanest product back then either. So drinking wine was a way to consume fluids without risking getting sick on contaminated water. So that's
I was standing, in those
Yeah.
judgments, standing there for a while. Okay? You good? Good, Tom. And you're right, the times were very different back, 2,000 years ago. Life was very, life was hard. So when they got together for a celebration, the wedding might last a week, as long as the wine held out, kind of thing. So maybe if we look at it in that light versus what alcohol can do to us, rather than this is a gathering of the family, and it's a celebration. Life is hard, and here's a way that we can celebrate life. That it's just Jesus' reaction right at the beginning. Why is he so rough? Why is he so tough on that?
It sounds like a normal interaction between mother and son sometimes, right? Come on, Mom. Bothering me again about this stuff?
Right.
I mean, he's showing that he's human.
Good, yes. And we know that Mary really has a broader view of life, because 2 weeks ago, in fact, in the adult study, we looked at her, the Magnificat, where she's accepting her role in the whole birth of Christ, and so she's looking out for the good of all her people. No, she sees the whole family as extended, kind of thing, and we rather narrowing down on that particular interaction. So yeah, there's a lot of that going on in this process, and if we've all spent time with family recently, or even on the phone conversations, things can get a little rocky at times, and maybe that's part of what is going on here in the miracle of Jesus and the process. There's a poem that the lady put in the commentary here that I thought might bring up some other thoughts. Whenever love elects to bless, brings to a sweet excess, that without depletion overflow, which is what to say that what love sees is true, in this world's fullness is not made but found. Life lingers to abound, and pours its plenty out for each of us. Okay? So, not only is it our faith in God that we hear coming out of Scripture today, but it's also our faith in one another, the community that we are all in together. This opens the way for the fullness of love, the bounty of grace. And as we've all seen with our families, the center of our relationship at any particular time really is love. It covers up all the superficial things. When we nurture our faith with each other, we're able to have joy at being together, and how important that is. Amen.